Everyone is on edge after the star fell from the heavens. Never before has something fallen from the sky, so everyone has a theory as to what it means. The most popular one is that the end times are coming. But aren't they already here? I don't know any other cities that are still standing. The capital is the only place which has managed to thrive in the blighted wilderness. The last time we heard any news from another city was 10 years ago. I can't help but think that they're gone too, unless they became isolationists like us. There might be a chance that it's still thriving. My far-seeing can't reach far enough for me to confirm it. So, aren't we already on the edge of destruction? We're probably building our own tomb in a feeble attempt to keep the darkness out. Wall after wall, defense after defense. This feels a little bit, Shingeki no Kyojin. a little bit of Attack on Titan going on here. More boobs, but, you feel me. But for all that, there's something that everyone knows all too well. The capital stands alone against the darkness around it. No matter how mighty it is, it still stands alone. An empire's strength is its entirety, not just its capital. And we've lost nearly everything. I prefer optimism. That's a really bleak outlook, though. I like to be more optimistic than that. If we doubt, then we will be consumed by the darkness. I, of all people, should know that we cannot doubt. But it's hard to ignore all of the doomsayers. I thought that said doomsdayers. I was like, is that a word? All of the doomsayers who walk through the streets of the capital. Everyone's afraid. They've been afraid for a very long time, but the falling star brought those fears to the surface. There's been some talk that the council plans to promote novices much earlier than they should, too. The soldiers and guards around the capital are being stretched thin. More are needed if they are to maintain order. That noblewoman's words have haunted me since we last spoke, too. Did she call that star down from the sky? What do the stars have to do with her? I should talk with Gwen about this. She knows her history a lot better than I do, and her lumps are just so fantastic. I thought life as a soldier would be a lot simpler than this, but it's only become more complicated. I'd love it if all my problems could be solved just by stabbing a few monsters. It seems that life isn't so simple, though. I need to go see Gwen today. There should be a brief moment before I have to leave for guard duty. In fact, I'd better hurry up and visit her. To my surprise, Gwen wasn't anywhere near her office today. After wandering, I found her standing out in the training grounds, looking dazed. Why is she out in the training grounds of all places? Shouldn't she be in her office right now?
Gwen, can I speak to you?
When she looks at me, the look on her face says everything.
What do you want, Ryan?
Gwen's obviously sleep deprived. I should check if she's okay.
Oh, you didn't get any sleep, did you?
It's not like I need to ask. The dark rings under her eyes say more than enough.
Not at all. Since that star has fallen, there's been a lot of unrest in the city. The amount of letters being sent back and forth between barracks is just a nightmare. A barrel nightmare. I'm taking a rest from it right now. My fingers would snap in half if I had to write another signature, you know what I'm saying? So what do you need? I could use a distraction. Just thinking about more paperwork is gonna make me pass out.
Do you remember any tales about Ardina which involved the stars?
Stars? Why stars? Oh, could it be because a star totally fell out of the sky last night? Is that why we're talking about stars right now? Does this have anything to do with that? Oh, it was last week. There was an implication, in my mind at least. There was implication in my mind that this happened like yesterday. Anyways.
I'd be lying if I said it didn't.
Gwen gives me a weak smile.
You're always so curious. I can't recall at any moment, but there may have been some. I'll have to request some leave time to visit the castle library. After this stack of work, there's no way Kira would be willing to deny me anything.
Thanks again, Gwen.
Before I'm about to leave, she calls after me.
Can I ask for a favor in return, Raylan? When you're not busy, could you do some fire seeing for me? Just, whatever. Not for anything perverted, just because.
I can tell she's about to collapse. I'd better get her to bed.
Okay, will do. Just go get some sleep. Shoo, shoo.
Thanks, Raylan. I'll do just that.
Some small part of me feels slight envy. I can't take days off like she can. No, now's not the time for petty jealousy. I have guard duty at the castle today. I need to go get ready. Dooba-doops. As I arrive to the council chamber, I'm just in time to see the councilmen shuffling to their seats. They begin as they always do, with a list of items to discuss and address. It seems like it's going to be another boring day with these councilmen. The guardsman from the week before is also here.
Welcome back. Hope you're ready for more droning. I'm not, 'cause it's boring.
Yeah, I can't say I am either.
Just bear with me. Think of it as training, you know?
That doesn't make it sound better. What the councilmen are debating about today seems to be the best way to cart supplies through the city.
We are well aware that our roads are becoming very hard to navigate. The population density of our capital has become nearly unmanageable. How exactly are we to provide a way in order to reduce the traffic on our roads? Why don't we simply build more?
Why don't we simply build more roads?
But that's what we're already doing. These roads are becoming choked faster than we can build new ones.
Obviously, the problem is we're not investing enough resources into this, you know?
Might I also remind you that the streets are almost becoming labyrinthian. Our best architects are already overloaded with work, simply figuring out how to add more roads inside this city. What we need to do is...
After a while, I just let my mind drift out of my body. Listening to them is so draining. I wonder if anyone has died of boredom while on guard duty for this chamber. Maybe I could do a bit of far-seeing while I wait for these idiots to finish talking. Thinking about what's happening at... the barracks or the bathhouses. There's so much I've heard about the bathhouses. My curiosity is going to make my head implode unless I find out more. It also put me as far away as I can possibly be from the council chamber, so I'll gladly suffer through it. As my vision changes, I see... Oh, Gwen again! Hey, weren't you going to the library? Yo. You're lucky you got all the right bubbles in all the right places. Look at them lumps. Gwen? She's lying on some kind of stone slab, her chest pressed up against it. There's not a single shred of clothing covering her at all. All of her pale skin is showing. I can see small streams of water coming from her flowing golden hair. Enchanted lights hang from the ceiling, radiating warmth which I can visibly see shimmering in the air. I had no idea that it was such an elaborate setup inside of these baths. Gwen shifts slightly, like she's uncomfy. The movement is enough to make her body quake a little. She turns her head to the right.
This is a bit hot for my liking. Could you, turn it down?
A few seconds later, the lights of the crystals dim a bit. She smiles in approval.
Perfect, thanks.
Gwen doesn't seem out of place with any of these sophisticated treatments. She's perfectly content to bask in the warm glow of those absurdly expensive-looking crystals. She happily turns over, exposing her other side to the crystals. There isn't a single part of her that she doesn't allow the crystal's warm light to touch. Steam rises from her bod, obscuring my view of her slightly. She stretches herself out, laying her hot bod before the crystals. An eternity seems to pass as she just looks up at the ceiling. A small sigh of contentment passes through her lips.
This is heaven. The whole world outside doesn't matter at all. Just me, myself, and my lumps.
She turns back over, allowing her eyes to close as she leans forward onto her boobles. I don't think she could be any happier at the moment if she wanted to be. Being here really does fill her with joy.
It's like I'm adrift in an ocean of warmth, you know?
She shifts herself slightly, trying to move her lower bod beneath the cluster of crystals. Once she's happy, she turns around again to face the ceiling.
Now that's more like it. There's no better way to dry yourself off.
From the side of her stone slab, she grabs what looks like a ball of clay.
They say this is good for your skin. I suppose I'll only know if I try.
She takes the clay and begins to rub it on her bod.
It's like silk, so soft.
She leaves no part uncovered as she works her way down her bod. Clay on her chest, her thighs, all the stuff.
I hope my skin becomes soft like clay.
Not even the hottest forges in the capital could match the heat coming from my burning face. This is so embarrassing. Why am I doing this? Why do I do this to myself? Gwen's not stopping. She's gonna keep going until she's covered herself in clay. This is too much. I gotta go. I'm gonna clear my vision. I'm just gonna have to hope that no one notices how furiously I'm blushing. As I come back to the council chamber, the repetitive drone of their voices begins to drill itself into my head. Are you suggesting that the fallen star has some significant meaning? It's but a mere anomaly, nothing which should influence our business today, I reckon.
You cannot deny the unrest it has caused. The city is in a worse state of panic than it's ever been in a long time.
What course of action do you suggest we take in order to stifle the panic?
More guards patrolling the streets. We have to ensure law and order. Doomsayers are to be arrested on sight. We can't have them fear-mongering.
But we barely have enough soldiers as it is.
We may have to dip further into our reservoirs of novices. As much as I doubt they'd help, I don't know if we got a choice, you know?
All in favor of promoting novices?
All councilmen voiced their agreement with the plan.
Then we have settled the matter. As a summary, promote more novices, arrest doomsayers, put more soldiers on the streets.
Even though his face is covered by his helmet, I can tell what my fellow guardsman is thinking. Leaning over, he whispers to me again. Welcome to week 2. It's just gonna get worse. And way more boring. You'll go mad if you listen to them for too long. I could see you're learning to not listen to it, though, judging by your face, am I right? You thinking about boobies? Me too. You nearly fell asleep there. I nearly collapsed while far-seeing. Whoops, I better be more careful with it in the future. I know it's hard, but just stay awake a little longer. They usually conclude their business within an hour. It can't come soon enough.
We just gotta put up with it, right?
Yeah, you make a fair point. It's useless to complain.
Moving on to another important matter, have we any news from the scouting parties we sent to the mines?
Nope, definitely dead.
I see. Then there is nothing to be discussed.
How can he be so cold? Those soldiers are dead due to poor decision-making. Perhaps life is cheap when you make it to the top.
This brings me back to my previous point of last week. Are you still all opposed to the idea that these beasts are intelligent?
Yeah, we talked about this. Dead scouting parties do not mean the beasts are intelligent. We need proof and evidence before we do anything, you know?
Next time we are willing to take a risk, we should devise a means of testing them.
So, send more people to die? Dead can't tell us anything, man. Like, if we're being real right now.
Perhaps we can find someone with a gift which enables them to speak to the dead.
I don't know if that's real, dude. It would be foolish to waste our time and resources looking for somebody who could do a thing that's probably not real. So we should probably just stop talking about it. Yeah? We all in agreement?
Agreed, we must focus our time on more important subjects. The walls have been dealing with increased attacks since the star fell. The impact must have agitated the wildlife.
Yeah, I mean, I'm agitated, so I understand the city being agitated. Frequency of attacks should die down pretty soon, though, I think.
I must voice my agreement. There's no action to be taken in regard to this.
Well, I mean, no actions that we shouldn't be taking. I mean, we're already driving for more recruitment and more bodies to defend the walls, so...
As they continue to debate among themselves, I hear footsteps behind me. Soft footsteps. They couldn't belong to another armored guardsman. Whoa, it's that noblewoman from before. What are you doing here?
Greetings, Empress.
Nailed it! I knew it! I knew she was the Empress! I knew it!
They were just gonna have some hot white-haired girl show up and then not be important. Plus.
Greetings, Empress. We are surprised you have joined us again. Have you matters you wish to speak about?
Empress? The Empress? That's who she is?
I spoke to the Empress directly, and I did not even know. I am here to put forward a request, gentlemen. Something about her has changed. When I look at her face, I don't see that helpless look of loss. A star fell from the heavens.
What of it? There was light, there was noise. It was all very ho-hum. I'm sorry, my Empress, but we do not see why that star matters at all.
The emotionless mask Ardina wears is breaking. She is really agitated. I can't help but fidget as I watch her. The star. It's about the star, isn't it? What does that star mean to you, Ardina? Why won't you talk about it? Why won't you talk to me about it? That star does matter, Councilman. It could mean everything for us as a people.
Could you explain what you're talking about?
Another question. What do you even want to do about the star?
I request for a group of warriors to seek out where the star has landed. Deathly silence permeates through the chamber. All of the councilmen simply look at her.
What you are requesting is quite stupid.
Yeah, I think also, I agree. You're asking us to send a group of our best there to just, like, die in the mires? That's... Nope.
You haven't even explained why this is so important.
Not a single voice in the chamber offers any support for Ardina's request. I can tell she's trying to restrain her emotion, but It's starting to slow. I just overheard that you had sent scouting parties into the mires. How exactly is my request unreasonable?
Well, we debated for weeks before we decided to send them. And now they're dead, so anyone else we send would meet the same fate, obviously. Ardina, has your old age finally gotten to you? We understand if that's why you no longer participate in debate. Your mind is...
Before he can finish, I can feel the council chamber rumbling. Where did that come from? I rub my eyes and look again. It's coming from Ardina. That empty, vacant look is completely gone from her face. It's replaced with seething anger. Ghostly, ethereal light pours from her, filling the entire chamber. It burns around her in an aura, crackling with otherworldly power. Her power is actually causing the very building to shake around her. How is that possible? Before, I thought she didn't express emotion at all. Cowering in their seats, the councilmen tried to shield their eyes from the light. No one dares to say a word to the enraged empress, simply staring at her in awe. The main speaker of the council backs off from her, step by step.
Empress? What has possessed you? Empress, please stop! You're going to tear these chambers apart!
Amongst the chaos, I can clearly hear Ardina. Her voice is powerful, yet quivering with emotion. It drowns out all other voices. It's as if the entire world has gone silent just to hear what she has to say. First, you openly deny your empress. Then, you have the gall to accuse me of being unfit to take an interest in the affairs of my own empire. Every single one of my requests through the last decade has been openly denied by all of you. They've openly denied her for this long? She really was just a figurehead. But this time, you will not be denying anything. I am your empress, and it is time I reminded you of your place. I am older than all of you combined. I've seen 1,000 battles, millions of deaths, and known more loss than all of you could ever hope to imagine. So do not even dare to suggest that I am unfit to be your leader, that I am not of sound mind. Not one of you, for all your age and experience, could ever understand what that star means. The speaker tries his best to calm her down.
Empress, please calm down. Just tell us what the star means so that we may understand. We did not mean any harm by the statement. We were just...
Concerned? Or are you simply concerned with not having your way this time? I tire of your sweet lies. I would rather those with more honest tongues speak for a change. So I will make this clear. This is not a request like all of the other times. This is a command from your empress. Find me a group of warriors willing to brave the mires. The best group you can spare. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking for a new group of councilmen. You have all grown complacent with your position. Remember, I am your empress for eternity. After that, her light fades and she returns to her normal appearance. She nearly burned my eyes out with that. Finished with her speech, Ardina turns back on the council. She takes a moment to look at me before she's gone again. Did I just see the empress of the legends? The one who glowed with light and banished the darkness with her footsteps? When I look back at the council, all of them look terrified.
Well, do we have any further items we need to discuss? How exactly do you think we should respond to the Empress's insistence?
I think we should probably hear her out. That was scary as fuck. Although, I'm not normally the voice of cynicism in this room.
That is understandable. We all agree on the Empress's proposal, is that right?
All of them voice their agreement.
Do we have any other outstanding business we must deal with right now? Because, frankly, after all that, I must wet myself.
No one says a thing.
I think it would be best to adjourn this meeting. Goodbye. Is everyone in favor?
Once again, the decision is agreed upon with no opposition.
You didn't see or hear any of this. You understand, guardsman?
I can only vacantly nod my head. It's enough to make him go away. Dumbfounded, I just stand there for a moment, taking in what I just witnessed. My fellow guardsman must be in awe, too, because he's not moving either. Whoa, that was the legit shit. I guess this was your lucky day. The council chambers will never be this exciting again.
Wow, does this really count as lucky? She could have caused this chamber to collapse on us.
Perhaps, but it would have been better to have that happen, you know? rather than listen to these politicians. God, drone.
I can't help but shake my head at him. Does he really hate being here that much?
I've been here a long time. That's the first time anything like that has happened. Things are gonna change real soon. It's about time that happened. What's even better is we're off duty. Hell yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm out of here.
Sure enough, he's gone in an instant. I'm too busy taking in what I saw to really care, though. Even though the council has adjourned their meeting, I still have guard duty. Better get to patrolling the hallways, and maybe I'll run into the Empress again. It's another moonlit night by the time I'm off duty. The rest of my day was uneventful after what I saw in the council chambers. I am tired, to say the least. Maybe guard duty is supposed to be some kind of twisted endurance training. Kira does love her unusual training regimes. I'm gonna relax. I suppose I could take just a uno momento. It's not like there's anyone watching me. I once again hear soft footsteps echoing through the halls. I already know who they belong to. The Empress seems to have stopped to look at me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were,
She responds with a gentle smile. It's fine. Don't concern yourself with who I am. I really don't think I can do that. I'm only speaking with a legendary figure who's, like, gonna live forever. I do wish to speak with you again.
If my Empress commands it, I will.
Then let us speak. She wanders over to one of the many windows in the hallway, leaning on its sill. The light of the moonlight illuminates her face, making her seem even more ghostly. In the moonlight, her otherworldly beauty becomes more prominent. A star has fallen from the heavens.
The impossible happened.
No, it was always possible. It was only a matter of when it would happen.
But how did you know it was possible?
Because someone promised me it would. Someone promised her?
Who might that be, my Empress? Who promised you?
Someone. Well, no answer there.
What does the star mean, then? Is it as the doomsayers speak on the streets? Is it a herald of the end?
I'm afraid that the star's significance would be lost on anyone of this age. Again, she refuses to explain anything.
Why can't you tell anyone what that star means to you?
Because they were not there.
Weren't there? Weren't where? My Empress, what are you talking about?
I'm afraid I cannot make you understand either. There's not anyone else alive who remembers him. Him? Who's she talking about? I am the only one left. I wish you could have been there too, to know the light that once shone on us. There was no need for an empress or an empire then, but look at the world we now live in. Despite how powerful she looked in the council chamber, she now looks very tired. They have believed me to have become lost. That is not entirely untrue. I've been waiting a long time for the star to fall. Now that it has, I think I can find my way again. I see something very human in her for the first time. The Empress has made herself vulnerable, just for a moment. I can tell you one thing about the star. It means change. Great change.
Is it change for the better or for the worse?
Even I cannot predict the future. All that I know is that the star means change. You were there to hear my request. It all depends on those warriors now, whoever they may be. She quietly gazes out the window. Something about her seems lonely. I would seek the star myself, but I am no fool. If I were to die, what would become of the capital? You have seen those men bicker amongst themselves. To leave what little we have left in their hands alone, we would be undone. The people need their empress in these times more than ever.
Why do you keep them then? Why not get rid of them?
I have thought about it for a long time. Perhaps when I find suitable replacements, I will go through with it. For now, I will allow them to stay. They will not deny me this time. Even though they rule this city, I am still the Empress. For a moment, she seems to look out at the cityscape before her. It is late, guardsmen. Return to your barracks. I hope we may meet again sometime. I'm not sure if I hope to meet her again. Something tells me I will, though. What? Why wouldn't you want to meet her again? She's, like, super all-powerful and pretty. That's gotta be on our docket, right? We were, like, daydreaming about meeting the Empress our whole life. We finally meet her, we get to see her be a BAMF, and then we're like, I don't know if I ever want to see you again. Maybe because, like, we realize it can't get any better, right? Can't get any better than that. That was the the coolest moment. Anyway. I'm back at the training grounds today. Not on guard duty, thank the creator. After all that's happened in those chambers, I'll never complain about hitting wooden dummies again. In fact, it's nice to be able to hit something after listening to those councilmen for so long. Unfortunately, Kira motions for us to cease training. The first day I get back to it, and there's already going to be interruptions. Novices, I require your attention. The Empress herself is visiting our training grounds. Pay your utmost respect.
Ardina is visiting us right now?
No one knows her reason for visiting today, but I can take a guess. After what I saw in the council chamber, I know it could be for no reason other than recruiting. Ardina looks much the same as she did when she last visited. She's wearing her emotionless mask. She takes a moment to wait for the rest of the novices in the barracks to assemble themselves. My novices, my knights, I come before you with a request. Despite her lack of emotion, her words still sound inspirational. Not a single person looks away. They're waiting on her every word. All of you know that a star fell from the sky a week ago. Everyone has discussed what the star means, but its meaning will only become apparent when we see it for ourselves. There's going to be an expedition to reach the star, traveling through the mires and into the desolate lands beyond. Will any of you volunteer for this? It will be a journey filled with peril, so I understand if you refuse, but your Empress needs brave volunteers. Will you not help her in her time of need? Most of the novices look away. Can't blame them. What she's asking for is practically suicide. It's one thing to be on the walls and just defending. It's another to actually brave the wilderness to seek a fallen star. Kira also looks shocked. She wasn't expecting something like this. My Empress, surely you ask too much of these novices. They are not ready for battle yet. Can you not come later? I'm afraid this cannot wait, Kira. I also reaffirm that this is only for volunteers. I will force no one. Surely there is one among you who would go forward to seek the star. Her vacant eyes survey the entire crowd before her. As I'm about to step forward, I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's Gwyn, holding me back.
Dark another miles. You won't come back alive, seriously.
Never before have her words sounded as grave as they do now. Relenting, I step back into the crowd. I think the Empress notices me when I do, though. The crowd parts as she begins to walk toward me. It seems we meet again. I have an unusual feeling about you, guardsmen. Trusting my feelings has led me into prosperity in the past. So this is what I will ask of you. Guardsmen, would you be willing to take this journey? All the other novices gape at me in awe. The Empress
The Empress herself has requested for Raylan to go on the journey.
They talk amongst themselves excitedly. The Empress seems to notice their chatter. I had forgotten